Welcome everybody with my Lenovo Yoga Tab 3 Pro review. I've been using this device for now over a month and I love it because it has an amazing battery life. The form factor is a little bit better than the last time because it's just smaller now with 10-inch and obviously the design matters to me a lot because if you're on the go, this is really a nice device to use, and especially with a few software features, it comes really close to a Windows environment since we have here Android 5.1.1 running, and I hope obviously it will also get the latest Marshmallow update in the future. So what we have here inside is a really huge battery, as already mentioned, 10,200 milliamps. That's about 3 times as much as in a premium smartphone with a 5-inch screen, not a 10-inch screen. So it's double the size of the screen, a little bit more than double, with triple the battery. And you can see it definitely when we go through this review that we have now 41%. It says it right here on the top corner in really tiny letters, but at the end it should go down only a few percent, even though we have the maximum display brightness here. There is a lamp shining directly on the screen. You can see everything beautifully in this really slim and also not too heavy tablet that has a great form factor, as I will show you now. So obviously the yoga tablets you have seen those for the last 2 or 3 years have this little hinge mechanism in the back, which means that you can close this up and hold it like a tablet quite nicely like this, because it's a little bit thicker here with the battery obviously here being in this thicker area, but it's still otherwise a really slim and nice device with a little button here to turn on the projector that's inside. Yes, after the second one there is again here in the third one a projector now also built in, but now it's not on the side here but actually in this little hinge, and I will tell you in a second why that is better. So then a headset jack right here on the side. You will see there is nothing except for on the other side completely there is a few more ports, like for example you need to charge it. For that you will use the standard micro USB. You have your volume rocker, your microphone, and then your on and off switch for turning the device obviously on and off. Then on the back, let's check the design out here, because we don't have a metal body here, but this is actually leather, and it feels really quite nice because it's also a little bit soft, and obviously there's no fingerprints visible on this one. And then we have a full metal hinge, so otherwise the tablet is plastic here at least, and here in the middle it's complete metal where you can open it up and use this as a stand and for other multiple different features. Now what you can see here is that I have the Wi-Fi model, which means if I open it up there's only a little micro SD slot where I could insert actually more internal memory. So the 32 gigs internally are enough for a few things, but if you want to watch a lot of movies or series or anything, you can just add here a 128 or 200 gigabyte card for a few extra bucks and enjoy it really on a long train ride or a flight or whatever. And obviously you can use the projector also at home or any other place quite nicely because it folds up 180 degrees, or the way that you can project up on the ceiling. For example, if you just leave the tablet on the bed, you can just watch a movie on the ceiling, but you can also just turn it a little bit this way. So when you put it down on a table like this, which I will show in a minute, you can just project the screen on the wall quite easily for just presentation or anything like that. So what I didn't mention on the back is the camera, which is a really nice, has a nice quality, as you will see in a second. And obviously on the front we have also one. So for Skyping and everything, this tablet is a nice solution. So what I will do now is just turn on the display again and show you a little bit around in the software, which is running on 2 gigs of RAM and, as I said, 32 gigs internal memory and an Intel processor inside, which is called the X5200. You can also read that in the manual. That's also on here. When you just go to the user guide on the first page, it will tell you the size of the battery and also what specs you have. The X5Z8500 is inside here, and this is, as I said, the non-LTE version with just Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, but also GPS, which we'll see right here. I've turned it off right now, but you can obviously turn it on. If the projector button on the side shouldn't work after a few years, you can turn the projector on also here in the menu, which is obviously quite nice. And you can also turn on or off the multi-window feature, which is one of the best features this Android tablet has to offer that makes it close to a Windows device, obviously with a few app limitations and other limitations, like for example the internal memory. Even with a 200 gigabyte SD micro SD card, it's not as big as maybe 1 or 2 terabyte that you can have in a notebook. So you can see there's quite a few apps on here, but I think half of them, half of the apps are from myself. So I installed a lot of games. I will show in a separate video how the gaming is, because actually it's quite good. This Android tablet gets in the Antutu benchmark, which is a standard benchmark that most people will use, a really high number, which is 78,000. To compare that, for example, with a premium smartphone, it comes close to a Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge that has a price of $800, and this is just a 500 euro or dollar device, and it has also the same display resolution as these premium smartphones with 2560 times 1600, so it's a little bit wider than a smartphone would be, for example, but therefore just have a little bit more space. And for example, the Android bar here on the bottom is not that annoying, which it is actually usually really not that much, because once you open up a game or anything, the Android bar will go away, and you can use the full screen here, for example, for playing some simple games like Temple Run or anything else that you might want to install. So after we are finished here with this little gaming experience, so you guys can see that you don't have to wait long for it to load, and you can also see the nice colors and graphics here on this really vibrant screen. We will continue into the camera, then the multi-window feature with a little bit of the projector that I will show you, and otherwise it's just a standard Android device, so it's not that thrilling to show you all kinds of other apps. And yeah, I'm already dead, so let's just skip out of the game here by just pulling this up and going on the bottom, and we can right away just get back to Android and do our thing. If I go to the last apps that are open here on the bottom, oops, sometimes it's a little bit slow. We can easily open and close the apps like this. We can pin them, and this, as I said before, it looks like the standard interface. So Lenovo didn't change too much on here. So what we can do now is just go here left and right for obviously the different home windows, but you have also a lot of Android and Google apps installed. But what I will do is just launch up the camera, which is right here on the top. For the front camera, you can see that the quality is really nice. I can shoot panorama pictures. I can shoot, well, actually I can't with the front camera obviously, but I can do the smart capture, which means it will try to, for example, straighten up this wall. But actually, I think action shot is a little bit more interesting for a lot of people that do sports or other types of things that they want to record in terms of pictures or actually also video, which it shoots in 1080p, not 4K, but I think 1080p is also enough. And there's quite a lot of settings that you can do. If you go here, for example, up into the settings feature, there's a few things that you can set up here, but let's just go back to the picture where you have actually usually even more settings. If I just go to the back, where you will see that we have here the auto, and you can also adjust the brightness a little bit to make the pics look nicer. But obviously you, I think, usually don't use a tablet to take a lot of pictures, but you will use the tablet to do a little bit of productive stuff. So let's turn on the projector by just pressing it here on the side for 3-4 seconds. Then you can already see it's on. It didn't take more than 5 seconds to turn on. There is no fan or anything inside there, so you won't hear a beep. And what you can do now is change the focus of the projector right here, and you can project up to a 70-inch screen on the wall. And you can see we have 50 lumens, and even though it's quite bright here in this room, you can see everything right on the wall, except for obviously it's really small on the wall because we are just too close. This is like 10-15 inches away, and yeah, you have to get obviously a little further away for a nice immersive experience, which I usually do with watching series or movies in my bed, just lying there and watching at the ceiling for 5 hours. So if the battery is full, I was able to get out 5 hours of display time with the beamer, with this display obviously being off. You can turn it back on again by just pressing the on button or the off button, or what you can also do is just double tap it to get here back and use this mirrored picture quite nicely. So what I could do is, for example, open up my media player and watch some series or anything like that. But I can also do the whole gaming experience on the wall. But obviously when you will tilt it and everything, it will be quite annoying that the picture is moving also when it's a lot bigger. If the screen is off, the screen also works as a touchscreen, but it's a little bit harder to navigate because you can see the little dot on the wall with my finger, but just hitting the right spots for opening up an app, it's not that easy. But after a little bit of practice, you will get used to it. So let me turn back off the projector by just pressing it again for 3 seconds here. Confirm, and then we have it off, and we can just use our tablet like we used before. So one last thing, as I said, multi-window. You can already see here that I have a few windows open. That could be my file manager and, for example, my local videos that I want to play. And if I want to chat, for example, in a third window, that's also possible. What's not that easy though is, for example, you can't change the size of these windows, which is a little bit annoying. For example, if I want to watch my video in a smaller window and watch my maybe pictures or my folders here in a little bit of a bigger window so to see the whole names, that's not possible. But it's already a nice solution that I hope Lenovo will continue to work on. And to add other apps here, just hit the add button, and then for a few you need to download some extra things. But for example, these apps here up on top, I could already game in a separate window. So this was already it with my full review. Watch out for a review where I will show just where I can use this tablet, for example, in an airplane. As I said, watching a movie in bed or anything like that with the projector, and other things that you can just do nicely with the Yoga tablet, because their ad campaign says #GoodWeird, and I just want to demonstrate that in a video in the future, in the next weeks. And just check out my YouTube channel that you hopefully already have subscribed to. Thank you much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out also my other tech review videos. Till next time, please turn again, and see you guys.